Alright, gearheads, it's Saturday, June 22nd, and I just felt like I owed y'all a little update. I don't have a lot to update this time, but I've got maybe some more explanation or detail of some of the things I've been posting up on Facebook that I could show y'all. What I've been doing here, as you can see, I've been putting on little things that will be needed while it's running. I've been taking them off the 5.3 that's going in the C10. This was the good running 5.3 that goes in the C10. I took the accessories off of it and the intake, some of the sensors that were broken on the squirter, and here's the squirter here. Got the accessories on the front. I've laid the harness on it and plugging it into where it goes. I think I showed on Facebook these bolts. I'm not sure if I talked about this in my last video, but the exhaust manifold bolts are always known for breaking off on LS engines, so usually I recommend getting better ones. Don't stick those old ones back in unless you want to replace them again. I get these from eBay by POTZ Performance, P-O-T-Z Performance. It's about $11 shipped for a set. What else? Let's see. Reusing old manifold gaskets, they usually hold up. These are truck style exhaust manifolds. Run the O2 sensor here. Maybe later on I might run a muffler up so we can leave it running longer without it screaming in our face. Maybe rev it up, have some back pressure on it. Just did a little block off EGR plate for now. Let's see, we did the freeze plug on the intake. That's Dorman part number 555-025. You get them for under $1 at the local auto parts store. That'll block off the EGR port on the intake. These will be the gauges I'm going to use on the running engine stand. I'm not going to be using these in the vehicle. I'll use the stock gauges in the vehicle, but this will be for the engine stand. I just got to find a place to mount them. But we got the water temperature, volts, and oil pressure. I plan to leave it running on this engine stand for a period of time, maybe 30 minutes or so, make sure everything's good. For these cheap gauges from O'Reilly's, I can't remember the price, anywhere from $30 to $50. They the water temp sensor is large. It doesn't fit where it would go in the head over here. It won't fit in that port. So just for this running engine stand, what I'm going to do is run it right here into the heater hose on the water pump, and I'll block off the other heater hose today, and that'll give me the temperature at least while it's on the engine stand. I guess if you wanted to use this gauge set on your swap, you would need to make some type of T on the heater hose and T into it. It's a pretty large sensor. You can't see, but it's about that long, and the diameter is wider than the LS head will accept. So that's what I did to monitor the water. The oil, I haven't finished running it, but this port here is usually what we drill and tap into to run a oil pressure gauge. So I just ran the mechanical gauge to that set that we got there, and so I cover oil for the power steering so it doesn't burn up. You can keep fluid in it. I just looped the two lines together. I had an extra pressure line that was broken, so I just cut it off and looped them together. That way we don't burn up the power steering pump while the engine's running, the belt's spinning it. Something you'll notice, these coolant sensors always break. They always break off on the LS heads. Be careful when you're pulling your engine. Hopefully that'll give us a reading right there through the OBD2 port still. Another one that always breaks is the oil pressure switch. I actually glued this one back down. Hopefully I didn't mess up the inside of it when I did it. Map sensor breaks a lot. This one's broken. When they get pulled, I guess these sensors get caught on everything as they pull them. But hopefully that still makes connectivity and we read. Also, what holds down the back of the intake always breaks when they pull the engine. Those are a few things to watch out for when you're pulling your engine, or the junkyard's pulling your engine. Oh, somehow they even broke one of these coils. This one right here. I'm not going to take it off, but it's broken. We might have a misfire there. Have to patch that up later. This is a big nasty truck air intake system. We got to have the MAF on it for it to run right. Hopefully maybe I'll be able to get something else for that, so we can get rid of that big ugly thing there, get one of those cold air intakes. Something I've got to do, let me move this out of the way. Something I've got to do for this harness, I gotta figure out what I need to do. This harness came off of a drive-by wire vehicle, and obviously I'm running a drive-by cable. So I need to find out how, or if I can, adapt. This was the only plug it had. Now I need a plug for the IAC and the TPS. So we're going to figure out what I'm going to have to do about that. I'll research that today. This is the universal fuse block that I use. What is that? Motormite, part number 85668. That's what I use on the harnesses to tap in to give it power. A lot of people get worried about the harness and intimidated when it's all laid out and there's so many plugs. Well, yeah, most of those plugs just go right back onto where they came from. To keep things simple, what I'm doing on this first startup is I'm just going to do the most basic thing you could do to this harness to make it run. So what that would be pretty much is just taking the fuse block plug, which is what this is, and cutting it off and splicing in my little universal harness. And it won't be pretty like a nice aftermarket paid for one, but it'll run, and that'll show you all how simple it can be. Then later on I might do another harness where you strip all this extra stuff out that you don't use. Like these right here, I don't even think you use any one of these three. Yeah, so it's not too bad. Actually, what I've done, I've taken this and plugged it right back into the fuse block, and then ran 2 power wires to that fuse block, and the engine will run. It just looks complicated when you have it all laid out, but you realize all those plugs just go right back to where they go. They fall in place. You can't put them anywhere else. You can't put them in the wrong spot. What am I leaving out? I think I've told you everything. Oh, see, look at that. They ripped the O2 sensor out. I need another O2 sensor. They broke it when they pulled the engine. But I think that's about everything. Of course, if this thing turns out to run well, all of these accessories, the oil pan and the intake's going to come off, and all the LS1 parts are going on to make it fit into my Camaro. So this is just for the running engine stand, pretty much. You know, I showed that last time. Vacuum lines plugged off. This is where your input and outlet fuel lines go. So what I'm feeling today, I think I'm going to have this harness together today, and everything's going to be ready to run on this engine today except for the fuel pump. I'm waiting for the fuel pump to come in the mail, hopefully during the week, because once it gets here I'm going to plumb the lines up and crank this booger up and get y'all another video going. I want to get it done this week coming up, because after that I'll be on vacation here for a little while and y'all won't see a video for about 3 weeks. So I'm trying to get this done before I go on vacation. I know y'all want to see it running also. Alright guys, what else? Besides the fact all the June bugs were attacking me the other night. They came out of nowhere, man. It's bad. It's like a June bug graveyard in here. But that's everything, I think, and I'll keep you updated. Alright? Have a good weekend and keep on wrenching. One last thing. I showed y'all the Potts Performance exhaust manifold bolts. Well, after I put those on the Squirter, I needed some more, so I ordered 2 more sets. Potts and those great guys over there threw in an extra set, so I've got a total of 3. It means I've got an extra set, and I thought I'd go ahead and give back to my viewers. First person to comment below this video is going to get a free set of Potts Performance exhaust manifold bolts for LS motor.